It's the 3 on PLAXtv.
Yeah, I think that might work. What's good, y'all? It's your boy PLAX, and I am back with another episode of the 3 on PLAXtv. And in this episode, I'm talking about how I think the Clippers can turn it around and what they should do to make that happen. The Clippers, at the time of this recording, have lost like six or seven games straight since acquiring James Harden from the 76ers. They're stacked, right? That's just the bottom line of it. They have Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, and they're all healthy. They all seem to be healthy. But for some reason, it's not working, right? I think the biggest thing is there's 4 future Hall of Famers, 4 very offense-heavy guys that kind of need the ball in their hands to get the job done. You could say Kawhi and PG can play off ball, which they can, but those are 4 guys that kind of sort of need the ball in their hands. They're 4 future Hall of Famers, and 2 of them are very strong personalities. You have those 4 and 1 basketball. And I think that seems to be probably the biggest issue here, on top of, certain people that I've talked about a lot on this channel, aren't necessarily defenders, right? They never have been, they never will be at this point in their career. So when you have PG and Kawhi locking up, you have Russ at the very least, giving a lot of energy, and then you have Harden on the defensive end, And Russ isn't the greatest defender either, but he brings energy. He goes and gets rebounds. He will defend. He's a willing defender, where Harden just isn't. But the first biggest issue I want to get into is 4 offense-heavy guys that need the ball and only 1 basketball. What I think they should do to attempt to turn this around is 2 guys should start and 2 guys should come off the bench. Now, this plan is extremely flawed because, again, you have very strong personalities on this team. All 4 of those guys are future Hall of Famers. That's a very tough sell for future Hall of Famers, right? Now, I think Russ would be okay with it? One of the other 3 guys won't be, which is understandable, right? But I think Russ will be more okay with it because he's played that role before. The other 3 guys is going to be a tough sell for either one of those. Kawhi's not coming off the bench under any circumstances, right? He's the best player on the team. That's not happening. But my theory is you start Harden and Kawhi, and PG and Russ come off the bench. I chose to start Harden and Kawhi because Harden and Kawhi have such contrast in personalities and such contrast in styles that I feel like it will work well together if it's just those 2 together working on it, right? Because Harden, as much as, he does chuck up shots and stuff like that, he's a very good facilitator. So I feel like with him out there, that would ease things for Kawhi a lot. And Harden is a willing passer. So when he's crossing people up and stepping back and, getting fouled and all those things, after a while, that's just going to free up Kawhi, right? Because you can come and double Kawhi, but you can't leave Harden on an ISO or by himself. That's just not going to happen. And if for some reason you're able to double or cut those 2 off, they have Norman Powell and different shooters around them or even, Zubac down low. Somebody's going to be open. You can't double both of them. You really can't double one of them. It just puts you in a very tough spot, right? And then again, their contrasting styles, I feel like, will work very well together. And even on the flip side, Kawhi is a very willing passer as well. So if Harden is cutting, if Harden is open, he'll get him the ball where he needs the ball. and vice versa. And as far as PG and Russ coming off the bench, the reason I said that is because even though it was a while ago, we know PG and Russ works, right? They overachieved on that OKC team. PG, when he's with Russ, plays some of his very best basketball. He was an MVP candidate the last time he played with Russ. Granted, Russ was an MVP candidate himself. He was averaging triple doubles. That was a very different Russell Westbrook. That was, the prime of his career. Now he's a little bit older. Things are a little bit different, but I still think you can get a similar result with those two running the second unit. Now, the thing with that is PG is a starter, right? He's not a bench guy. So selling this to him and getting him to come off the bench, it's just probably not going to work. It's probably going to be a very tough sell. But I feel like for this squad to work and potentially make something happen, but what I mean by that is win a championship, I feel like the starting lineup with Russ, Harden, PG, Kawhi, or even if you took Russ out and just ran Harden, PG, and Kawhi, I feel like that's just too cluttered with offensive-minded guys that need the ball in their hands. Now, with this setup, if they were able to do this, right, it would be Harden at the point guard, Norman Powell at the 2, Kawhi Leonard at the 3, PJ Tucker at the 4, and Ivica Zubac at the 5. And off the bench, it would be Russ, Bones Highland, or Terrence Mann, one of those two. Honestly, it doesn't matter. They're very similar players. It doesn't really matter to me personally. PG at the 3, Kobe Brown at the 4, the young guy. I believe he's a rookie. And Daniel Tice at the 5. Now, Daniel Tice isn't on the team at the time of this recording, but I heard rumors that he will be because Mason Plumlee is out for the season. He cleared waivers with the Pacers, and he plans on signing with the Clippers because they need a big. So I just threw Daniel Tice in there because I seen that information. But regardless, just another big that they get off of free agency, whoever it may be, right? That would be the bench. And I think that would just be overwhelming for teams because you're starting a game with Harden and Kawhi Leonard, which is already difficult. You got Zubac out there, who's a great rebounder and a very good defender. You got Norman Powell, who's going to knock down his shots. I believe he's shooting like great percentages this year. And then you got PJ Tucker out there, great defender. He's going to also knock down his shots when he gets them. And then Harden and PJ Tucker has also played together before. Harden and Zubac seem to be building a relationship. There's just so many dynamics there that's already tough. Like, that's already tough to handle, James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. And then when you think, okay, the second unit's coming in, we're getting a break. You're not getting a break because now you got Russell Westbrook and Paul George, who arguably are one of the greatest dynamic duos who haven't won a championship. You got to deal with those guys. Then you got Bones Highland and Terrence Mann, one of those guys coming in who are very offensive and solid players. And then, the other two guys at that point on the court doesn't really matter. You're just being overwhelmed with talent, all-star level, Hall of Fame level guys on both sides with the starters and the bench unit. Basically, with this setup, you're overwhelming teams and they never get a break. And that's the biggest thing with this setup. And then instead of doing it for 20, 30 minutes a game, now you're periodically running all 4 of them with Zubac or running all 4 of them with the backup big instead of the majority of the game. Right, because I think that's been the problem. Now you're picking your spots to do that. Okay, it's a little slow. Let's throw those guys in there. We're on a run. Let's throw all 4 of those guys in there. Now you just overwhelmed them with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard in that starting lineup because that's going to be tough to deal with. You got PJ Tucker and Norman Powell in the corner or on the wings waiting for the ball, setting screens. You got Zubac setting screens, getting guys open, and then you have Kawhi and James Harden just killing you, right? And then those guys then killed you for like 8 to 10 minutes. You think you about to chill, and then you got Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Bones Highland, and Terrence Mann, and all those guys coming into the game to kill you some more. And that's just extremely overwhelming for any team, right? So you do that for what? A quarter and a half, and then halfway through the second quarter or halfway through the third quarter, you got Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, PG, and Zubac all in the game at the same time for like 6 minutes. And then to start the fourth or to start the third quarter or halfway through the third quarter, you're back with the starting lineup. And then you got the second unit coming back in. And then maybe to close the game out, you got the death lineup back out. You got Russ, PG, Harden, Kawhi, Zubac back out there. I just feel like that would be very tough to battle with, and I think that would definitely turn their season around. But again, like I said earlier in the video, you're not Russ. You might be able to get Russ to agree to come off the bench and run the second unit. PG's not gonna do that. Even if you reversed it somehow, Harden isn't gonna. He's definitely not gonna be willing to come off the bench because he is the system, whatever the fuck that means. I don't understand. Harden, you can't be a system when you've never won a championship being the system. Kobe Bryant is a system, right? Because it's proven he's won championships. LeBron James is a system. It's proven he's won championships. Michael Jordan, his gameplay is a system. You know why? Because he's won championships. Kareem is a system. He's won championships. Even your teammate, Kawhi Leonard, he can be a system. You know why? Because he's won championships. Harden, you've done nothing but chuck up shots, underachieve team success-wise, and lose when it mattered the most. Yes, you have an MVP. Yes, you've had crazy numbers. No one's disputing that, but it's led to nothing. So proclaiming that I don't need to fit into a system, I am the system, just amplifies who you are as a player and your career of being a shot chucker, a ball hog, a guy that really doesn't care about winning. He mostly cares about individual statistics and being comfortable and being able to get to the strip club when he feels like it. And I know I can't talk too much because, I mean, look at me, but you also like to eat. Well, those are fat suits too. Those are fat suits. So maybe, I don't know. That's a whole other conversation that I won't even get into. But yeah, that's just my idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Am I crazy? Do you think there's some validity to what I said? Do you think that could potentially work? We're most likely not going to see that because those guys aren't going to agree to that. Kawhi is definitely not coming off the bench. PG is going to be a very tough sell. You might be able to get Russell Westbrook. Harden is definitely not doing that because he is the system. But let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ding that notification bell so you know every time I drop a video. And most of all, YouTube. I love you guys. Peace out.
It's the 3 on PLAXtv.
Yeah, I think that might work.